Hi everyone, my name's Luci Long. I'm KSU FSA's secretary.
And I'm Miriam Song. I'm a guest speaker here with Lucy today, and we're going to talk about cooking and baking.
So,
All right, so some of the questions we have. Oh, I like this one a lot. So how do you fix a dish that's too acidic?
My family, we do like a little bit of sugar, like just a little bit. Not too much so that it's sweet, but like just to balance out the taste.
Okay, yeah. I'd say if you have something that's too acidic, maybe like pair it with something more starchy, so it's like you get that richness that comes with it. So like maybe potatoes or rice, or like bread that comes with it. Like if it's a salad that's too acidic or something like that, I think if you just have like a rich food next to it, then it balances it out really well. Yeah.
But what if the salad is too acidic and like, can you add anything into the salad so that it's balanced again, or no?
Because probably what's making it so acidic is the dressing.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, you could probably just add more vegetables.
More salad.
More salad, yeah. You know. But if it's like soup, because sometimes you know how like you add a splash of vinegar into soup to make it like balanced and stuff.
And then it's like too much. That's when you need the sugar.
Yeah. I've never used sugar before, but
really?
I will use that, yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay. And then, favorite dish to cook. Seasonings you use, favorite way to hold a knife. Okay.
Okay, so favorite dish to cook. Do you have a favorite food in general?
A favorite food?
That you cook? Yeah.
Personally, I think Indian food is like top tier. I love it so much. I don't cook it that often because I just now started cooking again, but like I'm excited to. It's like pretty basic, so I really like cumin and turmeric. I think those are just and chili flakes. Oh my god, like
spicy food.
I know, and it's just like there's so much flavor going on. I love it. And then like the fresh onion and cilantro that goes with it, and lime. I love it. It's so good.
My favorite dish. I make really basic food just because it's easy to make.
All right, then like baking. Favorite dish to bake.
Baking. I like baking cakes.
Cakes.
Yeah.
I know you do, yeah.
Cakes. Because the decorating is just so fun.
So for decorating then, cakes or cupcakes better?
I still like cakes.
Cakes? Yeah. More surface area to work with.
I think I went through too much of a cupcake phase in middle and high school, so we've progressed from then.
Glad to hear it.
We've developed. But like, if it's savory, maybe I like tomato soup, like a blended tomato soup
with a grilled cheese on the side.
Yeah. Maybe some pesto in it too.
Oh, I like when people like make it fancy and they add like creme fraiche to the top and they like swirl it with the pesto. Yeah. Fancy.
Seasonings you use. I'm guessing that's like the most common seasoning we use in everything.
For what?
Just whatever you cook.
If I'm going more towards like Korean food, I'll use like sesame oil and like gochugaru, which is like the chili flakes, but it's like smaller, and a lot of sesame seeds too. Okay. Like pretty basic, yeah. Red
pepper flakes. Literally add it to anything. Yeah. You can add it to sandwiches. Honestly, sandwiches is red chili flakes. That's good.
I haven't had it in sandwiches before.
Like maybe with like egg, cheese. Like a breakfast sandwich, kind of.
Oh, I will do that. I'll try it next time. I'm learning so many new things today.
Yeah. All right. But cumin's also a pretty general one.
It is a pretty general one, yeah. It can be used, like, I know my dad uses it for, like, potatoes and stuff. It's really good, yeah. All right, next question. Do we want to move on?
Oh. Favorite way to hold a knife. So, we talked about this, because I view it as, like, there's a American way to hold a knife and like an Asian way to hold a knife.
Personally, I don't really see a difference.
I don't know. Like, I don't think there's a difference either, but like KSU does cooking demos, and the lady who taught us, she was like, what's the neck called? The handle?
Handle, and then the neck is like
the blade?
I think so.
It's like, the lady was like, you had to hold the knife by the handle, but your thumb and your pointer finger had to be on the blade, and she said that it would give you more control or something over the knife.
Personally, I don't do it like that.
Yeah.
I have very short fingers and hands, so it's like, I feel like it's more of a... So I, like, hold it pretty close to the base, but it's like, I don't wrap my finger around the top
It's like you
part.
kind of just
I just hold it regularly, yeah. I do get, like, the best thing that my dad taught me about holding a knife, though, is, like, with your other hand, you never want to use your fingertips. So what you do is you, like...
Curl it?
Yeah, curl it, so it, like, brushes against your knuckles, almost.
So then if you cut yourself, it's a knuckle and not a whole finger off.
Yeah. Also, it's, like, more likely just to graze it instead of, like, cutting off a finger. Right. So, I use that one a lot, personally. Like, especially when I'm cutting onions.
Onions are hard to dice.
I think it's satisfying. You just, like, you make a couple of rows. A good tip for onions, you don't cut off the root first. So you cut it in half, but you don't cut off the root end first, because that's how you cry, because that's where all the spiciness comes from.
Really? My mom says if you cry, like, if you normally cry when you cut onions, just, like, rinse it under water, so, like, all the, like, stuff. But that probably takes away from the flavor.
I don't know. Then, I don't know. It gets too wet.
That's what I think.
Okay. Favorite dessert recipes. So you said
cakes. Cakes are fun to make. But like the flavor profile, that depends on you.
That's true. Personally, I like making pies. Pies are my favorite thing to make. But since my pie tins are at my parents' house right now, I've been making galettes, which are just flat pies, and they're so much easier.
They're so good.
I'm just gonna say, pie crust is a superior... Just the crust itself is so good.
You don't need any filling, just eat the pie crust by itself.
It's so good.
But the favorite thing I've baked so far were those, like, sesame, like, chocolate chip cookies that we made.
Really?
Yeah, the flavor's so good.
Because, okay, I've gotten, like, a 50-50 on those, because Hannah was like, I'm not really a fan.
Why?
I don't know. I think it was just too much sesame for her.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
The raw cookie dough for that was really good, though.
I feel like I've never had, like, sesame oil or anything in cookies or, like baked goods.
Sweet. Yeah.
So it was interesting, yeah.
I liked it a lot. I'd say my favorite dessert I've made was, like, maybe a coconut cream pie or a pumpkin pie. Okay. Yeah. I just really like custard pies.
And you also just like pie crust.
I know. It's, like, therapeutic to make any kind of pie crust or dough, in my opinion. That's why I like making bread, too. So, yeah.
Take out all your anger on the dough.
Yeah. Okay, Faith, this is for you. So, how do you make macarons? And a lava cake?
So, okay, lava cake is just, like, the batter on the outside, which I think has to be, like, kind of thick, so that when you put, like, the chocolate or, like, a cube of chocolate or peanut butter or whatever you want in the middle, so that it can, like, stay in the middle while it bakes. And then you just pop it out when everything's, like, fully cooked and melted.
Yeah. I think lava cakes are, like... I call them, like, kind of raw cakes.
They feel like raw cakes.
Because I feel like the batter inside isn't cooked all the way, but it still tastes good. Like, I have nothing against it. It's just, like...
I feel like it's not all the way cooked, but that's just the chocolate, like,
the melting.
Seeping. Yeah.
Because if it wasn't cooked all the way, then you get that, like, weird raw flour taste, you know?
See, but that's also, like... I feel like that with cake pops, because you put, like, icing and stuff with the cake.
Oh, you mean the texture?
Yeah, the texture makes it feel like raw dough, and I don't like it.
I mean, I think lava cakes are, like, okay in my opinion. I think they're a little too rich for me, and I like chocolate a lot, but they're, like, a little too much. I think
everyone just likes it because of, like, how you cut it and present it. Like, it's pretty.
And you have, like, a scoop of ice cream next to it, Macarons. Macarons are 50-50
yeah,
for me.
It's so iffy. I started in middle school, and I got banned from doing it in my house because I would mess up so bad.
It's so many egg whites wasted. Oh, my gosh.
And it's just, like, you have to have, like, the right conditions in your house. Like, it has to be dry.
I know.
And, like, no moisture, or they're not gonna make that, like, little film on top to rise. It's so iffy.
Let me tell you, for my senior year, for Christmas time, I was trying to make my teachers macarons. And so I was going to give them, like, 2 to 3 each. So that's, like, it's, like, almost 30 macarons, right? And I was like, no, I can do it. And then I ended up the egg whites, they stiffened, but then when I mixed it together, they would keep on deflating, and then it was just too dry or something. And then there was no film, and they didn't have the foot when they baked. So they were just, like,
they were, like, dense cookies. Yeah.
And it was such a waste. I don't know.
But then you hear about people making macarons for the first time, and they get it right. And I'm so confused.
But you were there when I made macarons my first time.
And they were right. What?
I don't know. So I'm saying it's a 50-50.
Yeah. It's like the moisture, moisture ratio has to be exactly right, or it's not gonna work out.
So what I've ended up doing is I add, because people will just say, like, this is the right ratio for dry ingredients, and you put all of it in at once.
Yeah.
But I think it's just, like, people's egg whites, because it depends on the egg. So if you don't have enough egg whites, then it's just going to be too dry and it's not going to mix. Okay. So I've just added in dry ingredients slowly, a little at a time, folding it in. And then whatever seems right, I just stop there.
Okay.
Because I don't want to risk it.
Have you ever made flavored macarons, though?
I made chocolate ones.
How did you incorporate the chocolate in? Like, did you use powder?
It was cocoa powder, but the thing is, I had the same problem because I put in all the dry ingredients at once. And then it never worked. So I had to remake them.
Okay.
And then it was a chocolate ganache filling. Personally, I would have done a different filling because it was too sweet. Yeah. And macarons themselves are pretty sweet. Like, you know, the cookie.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe, like...
a good whipped cream is always nice.
I feel like it's, like... if I put a raspberry jam inside of it or something, that would have complemented it. I'm not really sure. I have to think more about that.
Okay.
But it was just too sweet, in my opinion. So I think that also covers the most difficult thing you've baked.
I think so. I've made meringues before.
Meringues? Ooh.
Meringues are pretty good. They're also very iffy because it's like... it has to be dry in the house. Mm-hmm. If there's a little bit of moisture, they're sticky and, like, chewy, and it's really bad. Ooh. And they also take a long time to bake.
I bet. Oh, yeah, don't they take, like, an hour to 2 in the oven?
But you get an arm workout.
Did you hand whip it?
Yeah, because my brother was using the mixer for something else, so I was sitting there and I was like...
That's impressive, though. I'll give that to you.
Thank you.
Lucy has such good arm muscles. Like, she makes her own whipped cream, guys. Like,
it's so
she hand whisked it. And I can't even do that. I always use a mixer.
Hey, last year, we went over to your house and we whipped whipped cream by hand.
That was all you.
It was not. I used a tiny whisk until you were like, this is not gonna work.
But that was all you, because I remember I was making the macarons.
That's true.
So that was all you,
okay.
Yeah. How do I eat and cut jalapenos without my whole hand lighting on fire?
Shout out to my sister for that, because we've been on the whole, like, jalapeno cream cheese taki train.
Oh.
It's so good.
Oh my god. They are good, but, like, I wanted to die the next day.
Yeah. You eat too many and you're like, I don't feel so good anymore.
But they were really good.
Gloves.
I think gloves, or, like, if the outside of the jalapeno isn't spicy, it's just the seeds. Or it's like, what is it? What's the powder? It's like
the capsaicin.
Capsicum, yeah.
Capsicum.
So the best tip I have is getting a paring knife, and you cut off the top, and then you, like, you hollow it out over a trash can.
See, she does that, and it's still, like, she was like, her fingers were on fire.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe it was just a really spicy jalapeno.
Know.
I don't know what to tell you. I've never had that.
I'm not gonna lie, I've done that before. Like, we went to the beach with my family, and you, like, each kid gets to cook a day, and I had jalapenos, and my fingers were burning for, like, a good 3 days.
Dang.
And, like, you can't stick them in milk. Lotion doesn't help. Like, what can you do?
I've never had that issue. I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea.
Bro.
Is it a genetic thing?
I don't think so, because it, like, burns and throbs, but, like, literally nothing helps.
I don't had know. That. That's so strange.
But I did touch all the seeds. That's why. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
One time, Hannah accidentally snorted a seed when she was, like, smelling a pepper.
No.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that with, like, chili powder? You just wanted to see what it smelled like and accidentally, like, snorted all of it?
No, I did that with hair dye, though. And then I almost passed out in my bathroom. But that's a different story.
Oh, no.
I forgot wafting was a thing. We'll move on to the next one.
Yeah.
How do you make your eggs? Scrambled?
Or sunny side up?
Yep.
Okay. To me, scrambled is, like, the lowest tier of eggs.
Do you like omelets, though?
No.
No? Okay.
It's, like, on the same level as, like, a hard-boiled egg.
I see. So, how do you prefer your eggs, then? Or are you not an egg person?
I like eggs. Sunny side up is nice. I don't know how to cook it, so I do over easy instead.
Oh, let me teach. So what you do is when you get the egg, you, like, want to do it on medium heat, so you get that kind of crust. Do you like the crust?
I do, but whenever I do that, it sticks to the pan.
So that's like a nonstick pan issue.
Yeah.
And then I don't like using olive oil for it because it splatters a lot and it's like high smoke point or whatever.
Vegetable oil.
Yeah, so I just use a neutral oil. And then what you do is you get like some water in your hand and you like sprinkle it on and then you put a lid over it. That way the egg whites cook, but you still get that running yolk. And you don't have to use like a spatula. This is what I did when I didn't have a spatula because I couldn't find it at my grandparents' house. So, and I couldn't flip eggs with chopsticks because I wasn't that skilled.
That's not, that's hard.
I couldn't do it. I still can't do it.
Can you like flip it by like tossing it?
I feel like if I do that, it breaks the yolk.
Okay.
Yeah. And I personally love a running yolk. They're so good.
That's fair.
But I love all eggs, you know. Bless you.
Thank you. I'm not sick. It's just allergies.
I got you. It's all good.
Yeah. But yeah. How do you feel about like poached eggs or like deviled eggs? How do you feel about deviled eggs?
If they're made right.
What constitutes as made right?
They have to have a good amount of spices in it. Because I've had some deviled eggs where it's just like straight up mayo and eggs. And that's disgusting.
But mayo is already egg, so it's just like double mayo, no?
You gotta like, it adds the lightness to it, you know? It makes it, because you know when you like boil eggs and then it's just really chalky and crumbly, the mayo I think adds like a nice richness to it. And then it has to have dill, of course, some celery or relish, some kind of... Or if you just chop up pickles and put it in there, that's also nice.
Isn't paprika also a thing that they...
Paprika, yes. I found out recently that paprika is just dried red pepper. Yeah!
I didn't know that. I'm like, so we've been seasoning bell peppers with bell peppers, basically.
I can't believe I didn't know.
I think that's why there were... Like, I've never thought paprika had a taste to it, and I think that's why.
It just smells kind of nice. Like, barely.
Barely, yeah.
It was... I'm so disappointed. Ugh. I thought there was more to it. I thought it was like saffron because when I was younger I got it mixed up and I was like, oh, this is the expensive stuff, but then I learned it's just red peppers.
I went to Costco like the other day and they had saffron in a like tiny bottle. Guess how much it was?
How much?
It was like $20.
Dang.
And it was like a pinch of saffron.
When do you even use saffron? Paella? But what else?
You can put it in like desserts.
Oh, I've
like
seen
with
it
lemon and like stuff.
I
feel like we should try it one day.
You think?
Yeah.
All right.
I want to see what it is. Okay, so Andrew gave us a tip. Yeah, when I ask questions, I may have asked it confusingly, but people gave us tips too.
I do like a good tip, yeah.
And Andrew gave us a good one. He said that weighing ingredients for baking is better than measuring, which is true. Because, like, some measuring cups are just weird, and it's never, like, the same.
That was, like, at my parents' house. Because, like, a quarter cup was, like, different for two different brands. And I was like, I don't know which one to trust.
And weighing is just more precise anyways, especially for baking, because cooking, you can literally add whatever you want, customize it, but baking is so dependent on, like, moisture and like ratios.
Exactly.
You can't.
But like, okay, for yesterday I made an apple galette. I'm gonna be honest, I did not follow the recipe.
But the crust was good.
It was like a frangipane underneath, but I didn't follow the recipe for that. But it turned out okay, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just guesstimating, but I do like weighing a lot better than volumetric.
I think if you bake a lot, like pretty regularly, you can start just guesstimating because you pretty much know the texture and what it should look like by then, so it's like, it's fine.
Yeah, I do that basically for like cookies nowadays. And like focaccia because I don't have time to weigh it out sometimes. but
yeah. Okay, so...
We're not actually cooking anything today, we're just talking.
Yeah, but yesterday we cooked.
Yes, Lucy made amazing mac and cheese. So good.
Mac and cheese. Okay, homemade mac and cheese is also, like, why does it only work 50% of the time?
Really?
Like, because you don't want a dry mac and cheese, but at the same time you don't want a soupy mac and cheese, and sometimes, like, when it gets kind of cooled down, it gets, like, chunky.
Mine just, like, gets very congealed after it cools down. Like, it turns into gel. I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to make it a mac and cheese, I'm gonna be honest.
I think it might just be the oil content in the cheese or something.
But when I, like, try to microwave it, it doesn't...
It doesn't melt?
No. Well, it, like, just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do.
I don't know either. I think... Like, I know for when you make the roux and you have to... When you make the roux, you have to have, like, equal amounts of, like, flour and butter, right?
Yeah.
But then that's already a lot of fat in it, and then you have more fat from the milk and the cheese. So I don't know how to cut that down so that it doesn't congeal. Does that make sense?
I just think it's something that I did wrong, honestly.
Okay.
Like, I have no idea.
Okay.
I think I just need to make mac and cheese again and redeem myself.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried using non-traditional ingredients to cook?
What constitutes as non-traditional?
I like doing what my mom does. So instead of adding, like, sugar to dishes, like, I like using apples or pears and, like, blending it to make it sweet. Because she does that when she's, like, marinating meats a lot.
Oh.
So, like, for bulgogi or something, like... I know a lot of people, like, put brown sugar in it, but my mom's not a fan of that.
Yeah. So
she just, like, she does apples and pears. And I think it tastes a lot better, too.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Like, there's more flavor than just sweet.
Yeah. So, personally, I think it works out. I don't know if that's what you mean by non-traditional, but...
I mean, it probably... Honestly, if it makes the flavor profile more complex, I think it works.
Go for it, yeah.
Non-traditional? I don't know. I kind of follow the recipe pretty, like, closely just because I don't want to mess it up.
That's true, especially if it's, like, something new that I've never made before. Is it bad when they said non-traditional? I thought of, like, inedible ingredients. Is that what
I thought that too, but I don't think you can do that. Marshmallows. I put marshmallows in cupcakes before and it somehow turned out airy.
Like, in the batter?
Yeah.
Like, cut up or, like, melted in then?
No, straight up just in. Like mini marshmallows.
Oh. That's gonna taste really good, though. Yeah.
I mean, it was a little hard at the bottom because of the sugar. But other than that, they tasted good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Okay. I think that's it.
I think so, too. Yeah. Anything else we want to talk about?
What is one dish that you want to make that you haven't yet? Like, that's... I don't know.
That I haven't made yet? Oof. Okay, so one thing that I'm really excited to make... Or it's actually two things. It's baking. So... It's croissants. And I really want to make milk bread.
Is milk bread that, like, fluffy bread?
Yeah. It's like...
That's in a square? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've seen so many recipes for it, for both of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, it looks so exciting.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just very... It takes a lot of time. Mm-hmm. And I don't have a day set aside just to make croissants one day.
We can do it.
Yeah.
The layers will be very hard, but we can do it.
Also, I think I need to buy a rolling pin at some point because I've been using a water bottle.
Hey. You know, it's fine.
It's okay,
It's DIY. You don't need it.
Yeah, I don't.
Hey, if you can bake and cook well without the proper tools, you're done. You made it.
That's true, yeah. All right, so what is the most improvised recipe that you've ever done?
Literally every recipe after I've tried it once. Like, tomato soup, I used to go buy a recipe, but now it's just like, toss in whatever. Add, like, pesto, croutons, like, whatever you want.
Yeah, I'll give it to you, alright.
Mac and cheese last night, did not really follow the recipe, just tossed in whatever you want.
Still tasted good. No
Thank
complaints.
You.
Yeah.
If the consistency looks right, it works.
Oh, wait, so what is something that you've always wanted to bake? Or cook?
A beef Wellington sounds really interesting.
Oh.
I don't know if I want to eat it. I just want to try to make it because it seems like something really hard to
Is
cook,
it bad
you know?
that I don't think it's like... I feel like getting the cook on the meat right is important, but I feel like it's just time consuming.
Yeah.
Then again, I feel like I'm just being, like, very pretentious about this, but, like, it's, like, what? Meat and then...
And then, like, a mushroom spread or something.
Mushroom and then prosciutto and then puff pastry.
Yeah.
I know you have to, like, cover the meat in mustard or something. I don't know.
I don't know. It just seems so interesting to make.
Christmas dinner. Some mashed potatoes, you know?
Ooh.
On the side and carrots or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
But baking. I haven't made a pie yet.
A pie?
Or bread. Because I don't trust the counters at my house. I think every counter is somewhat dirty, so I don't want to make it. But
yeah, I feel that. I always, like, wipe it down really well.
Yeah.
And then I tell myself that the heat in the oven will kill all the bacteria.
That is fair. But, yeah. I feel like there are more, like, not fancy, but just, like, interesting things I want to make, but I can't think of any right now.
Oh, I got you.
But croissants do sound very... Like, chocolate croissants.
Chocolate croissants?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I miss them. Starbucks just... I don't know. They don't do it for me anymore.
Starbucks... Food isn't great.
Yeah, I know. But I used to think, like, their chocolate croissants were, like, the best thing ever.
Spanish chocolate croissants, though.
I have never... Do they have, like, cinnamon in it or something?
Did you not have any in Spain?
Yeah, I did. I just thought they were different. No, those were amazing.
Yeah.
That's why I can't go back to Starbucks.
You know? What is it? Milfui? The 1,000-layer...
Oh, I know what you're talking... Yeah, and that has, like, whipped cream and...
Yeah,
and, like... or raspberries. And like,
some cinnamon or something.
Yeah, or, like, a custard in it or something, yeah.
That seems fun to make.
The layering. And the presentation is just so nice.
Literally anything on Great British Baking Show.
Oh, my goodness.
I want to make it so bad.
I know. Have you seen that girl who, like, just goes through all the technical challenges? Like, she's like, I'm gonna bake my way through all of the technical challenges on that show. It's amazing. I'm proud of her. Wow. I know.
Bro, you must have so much baking knowledge to do.
I know. Let's see. Okay, so personally, even though I'm Korean, I don't cook a lot of Korean food because I don't know how.
Yeah.
Is that the same for you in Viet food? Or...
I think so, yeah. Because it's like, your family always makes it, and they never teach you. Like, even if you ask them, they're like, oh, you just add this and this and this, and you taste it to see if it's right. And it's like, but how?
I know. And my mom's just like, I'm not that good of a cook, so you should ask someone else. And I'm like, who else am I supposed to ask?
No, but, like, you want to learn how to make Korean food, right? Same. I want to learn how to make Viet food.
And I don't know how.
It's like the traditional food that you have at every family gathering. No one ever teaches you how to make. I asked my grandma, and she was like, just search it up online. Search up a recipe. And I'm like, but yours tastes better.
Yes. They don't get it.
I know. It's so sad.
I'll learn one day. YouTube tutorials will teach me.
Yeah. And then just alter it to make it taste like your family's.
I guess. It's just not the same.
I know. Because I know for a fact that when my grandma makes certain foods like stewed fish versus when my mom makes it, it tastes completely different. Oh. They're both good, but they taste completely different.
So maybe it's just a generational thing. So, like, when you make it, it'll be different, but, like, in your own way.
It's like the nostalgia of having a good one, you know?
Yeah. Wait, Hannah's question was, date night.
Yeah.
You can't cook, but you want to impress your significant other.
Do something simple, but it's not pasta.
Not pasta. Pasta's always...
Pasta's so easy to make. Some buttered noodles.
Seriously. If you just put parsley on top of it, it'll look fancy enough. Yeah, no one's gonna question it. But
parsley tastes like nothing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think rice. You know, a good rice. With,
you could do a marinated meat?
I think a marinated meat. Or, like, fish, like salmon.
Salmon is a good choice, yeah.
Because it's easy to make. Like, you can bake it, you can pan fry it, you can basically do anything with it.
Even if you just, like, salt and pepper it.
Yeah,
and then
it still tastes...
It's still good. And then you just have that with, like, a side vegetable. Really good. Okay. Asparagus, green beans.
When you cook broccoli, do you steam it? How do you cook it? because some people don't like broccoli, and I don't know if it's because of the texture or the taste.
I love broccoli.
Me too.
I don't like eating it raw because I feel like it's spicy.
Spicy?
Someone told me that I might be allergic to raw broccoli because I said it tasted spicy.
I think so.
I just don't like eating it raw. But my mom steams it, so steaming is like a really good way to eat it, I think, because you don't, it's not like, it's still really bright and it didn't take out all the nutrients, you know, if you boil it for too long. And if you steam it, it's literally like 2 minutes or something like that. Yeah. Or if you blanch it, it's like 30 seconds in hot water. And then I eat it with like samjang and then call it a day.
Okay.
But oven roasted broccoli is a game changer.
My sister tried to make that and she burned all the broccoli. But she also made this broccoli. It's almost like elotes. You know, like the Mexican corn. So
I was just like trying to imagine what it looked like.
It was like cut up broccoli and then steam it. But then afterwards you put it in a pot and you put like the mayonnaise or crema or something. And then some cheese, some tahini, lemon, like a lot of different, like whatever spices you want, and you just mix it up and it's really good.
Interesting. I've never had it like that.
You should try it. It's really good.
Lillian, are you trying to make me some broccoli? That sounds really good.
Yeah. But any kind of cooked broccoli is fine if it's like not too crunchy.
Oh, because I feel like there's a difference between like crunchy and then like crispy. Because I like crispy broccoli.
How do you make crispy broccoli?
So I oven roast it with some olive oil and salt and pepper. And then you just like, you have to make sure the broccoli's dry though after you wash it, or else it's gonna get like soggy. Yeah. And I like cut it up into like really long strips because I like to keep the stalk intact. And then you just like put it down on there, and then you wait till it gets like pretty brown. I broil it. That's why. Oh, okay. So that way it takes like what?
So it's almost like a chip?
Yeah, 15 minutes max, and you just stir it around a lot so it doesn't burn.
Okay.
It's good.
Do you like the stalks of the broccoli?
You have to peel the skin off because that's what makes it tough.
Really? I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I eat it, however.
That's fair. I did eat the stalks with the skin on it, but my mom told me it was like not good or something, so I just take it off now. I don't really know. I just
too hard to digest, maybe?
I don't know. I just do what my mom tells me. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'll take her advice.
Okay.
Any foods that you don't like?
I hate onions.
Raw onions or just onions?
All onions.
All onions.
Like, I can eat onions in stuff, like white onion. Sometimes if it's cooked, sometimes if it's not. Like, if it's not, then on tacos I can. If it's cooked, pretty much can if it's small enough. Hate green onions because they're so aromatic.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Red onions also very aromatic, but you can eat it in like salsa and stuff. It's fine.
I think I went through a phase where I didn't like eggplant, but that's just because I didn't know how to cook it. My mom made like eggplant rice, and it's just like, it's
that
not.
Sounds mushy.
It was really soggy.
Okay.
And I just don't think she made it right, so it just tasted weird.
You should remake it and see if you can make it right.
That's just kind of scarred me, so if it's not in pasta, then I don't eat it.
What about ratatouille?
I've never made ratatouille.
Do you think it would be good?
I feel like I do like tomatoes and vegetables, so I feel like it can't be bad. I'm not really sure. I think it's one of those things I have to try.
Okay. It looks interesting. When you watched Ratatouille as a kid, did you think they were pepperonis? Like different colors? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had no idea what ratatouille was. Yep.
Oh, also for eggplant, I've seen someone make eggplant ice cream. It's very interesting, but it's like eggplant and walnut ice cream.
Do eggplants taste like anything? I feel like they don't taste like
anything. I don't think they taste like anything, but like the thought of having a veggie in ice cream was interesting enough to remember, you know? It didn't taste great, but like...
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
You know, try things.
I'll give it to you, yeah. Oh, I do like baba ganoush, though.
What is baba ganoush?
It's like, roasted eggplants that you put tahini with. It's like hummus, but instead of chickpeas, it's with eggplant. My dad made a really good one the other day, so I was like, I might change my mind about that.
Your parents do make good sauces. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. My dad makes good salsa now.
Really?
Yeah. He made, like, a salsa verde, and it was really good.
Y'all are just like a family of cooks.
Not everyone, but...
You and your parents, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. Oof.
What is a good meal if you're like a broke college student that you can make? Student. Yeah.
Any type of curry.
Okay.
Because it's just, I think, because I eat a lot of vegetarian food now that I've moved out. Mm-hmm. So
because meats are expensive.
I also just like, you know,
it's like you don't want to really cook
it. Yeah. Also, I don't really crave meat that often. So, you know, it's like rice and beans, really. Okay. With extra flavoring, in my opinion. And curry is super easy to make. It's just, if you have a jar of canned tomatoes and coconut milk, mix it in with some beans and spices. Yeah. You got yourself a curry and you just eat it with rice.
Sounds good.
Yeah. What about you?
I just do risotto.
Risotto?
Yeah. But, like, packaged risotto because it's quick.
Like, from Costco?
From Aldi.
Oh.
They have risotto at Aldi now.
I've never had that. All right.
But, probably just risotto, and then normally I roast bell peppers and then mix them in. And if I have protein, like, I did it with tofu. Like, you came over that one time, and I made, like, tofu meatballs. Yeah. Yeah, and then I just eat it with that, basically.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah.
Or bibimbap is also good. It's just rice and then, like, a bunch of... With, like, Korean side dishes. And then you put, like, pepper paste in it, a little sesame oil, sesame seeds, and then a fried egg. And then you just mix it together.
Any fried rice.
Fried rice, yeah.
You can literally add anything to fried rice, and it will be good.
True.
And then if you want to make it, like... a little bit, like, if you're sick of the fried rice texture or taste, like, if you leave it in the pan for a little bit longer to let the rice, like, crisp up, it helps. Good. It helps.
Yeah. Didn't you ever do that when you were a kid? You, like, called dibs who would get, like...
the crispy part? Yeah.
Oh, so good.
We used to do that with congee. Like, you know how when you cook it in a pot and, like, this rim of it would have, like, that little flake of, like, dried rice?
My mom didn't make congee.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I get what you mean.
Yeah. There was, like, sounds the little film, and then we got to fight over who got it.
Nice. Good memories.
What would be your worst disaster during baking or cooking?
Oh, during baking, I feel like timing.
Okay.
So if it's like undercooked and you take it out too early, and then you realize it's not cooked all the way,
and it's depleted,
and it's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I can't stick it back in the oven sometimes, you know. So those are always a disaster, I think. And then for cooking, burning anything. If you burn it, it's got to go. There's no way you cannot save burned.
It. Mm-mm. Bread, maybe if you scratch off like the burnt part, but anything else, nope.
You really can't.
The burnt taste is always going to be there.
I know.
Yeah. No, that doesn't work. If you're cooking with alcohol, make sure that it does not get exposed to the flame unless you know how to flambe.
Are you talking from personal experiences? All right, elaborate.
Okay, so I was making, I think... Okay, so I've made pasta, like, a la... Vodka. And that was... It wasn't great, because it was my first time doing it, so I didn't cook out all the alcohol.
So it kind of tasted like vodka.
Yeah, so then I had to put it, like, back in the pan and then cook it again, which didn't turn out great. But the one I'm talking about is... I made, like, every Christmas we make rum cake.
Oh.
And when you're making the, like, rum syrup, I had a measuring cup of, like, rum, and I'm pouring it in, but I didn't realize it would dribble, like, down the cup, so it hit the flame. Then the counter was on fire, I was on fire. It didn't burn anything, it just burned the alcohol, but everything was just, scary. Like, on fire.
Oh, my goodness. But it's, like, a fun story to tell.
Yeah. Almost burned down the house, but it's fine.
That's okay, yeah. Mistakes happen.
We learn from mistakes. You just have to let it happen, you know?
Yeah. It's natural.
Yeah. At least we haven't cut off any fingers.
Yeah, all our extremities are still here. Yeah. We're good.
Have you almost dropped a knife on your foot?
Yes. I think that happened almost the other day, I think. Yeah, it was interesting. I think I've dropped more plates and cups, though, because I'm clumsy.
Okay. Milo also asked, what are some tips and tricks for cake decorating?
Cake decorating? I think this is more of your forte.
Are you sure? You helped me make Hannah's cake.
Yeah, but I feel like I did more of the baking, and then you did more of the decorating aspect.
So there's the crumb coat. That's very important. It's like, after you layer the cake and everything, you put a thin layer of icing or frosting around it so that it catches, like, all the crumbs, because, like, the cake is so soft that it's sticky.
Yeah.
And then you put it in the fridge for a little bit to let it, like, harden so it becomes, like, a little barrier. And then you add more frosting around it, and then
you can add decorations.
Yeah, decorations. But it's like, I don't understand how people make naked cakes, because how can you not have a crumb coat,
yeah,
but, like, still make it look pretty?
I think what they do is they either use a simple syrup to make sure it's, like, the crumbs aren't as, like, scattered, you know, or they use a Genoese sponge, because that's not as crumbly.
I've tried to make a Genoese sponge before. It didn't rise much.
Interesting.
It was, like, very, very thin, because I don't think enough of the air, like, egg whites and air was, like, enough.
Interesting. Did you whip the yolks too?
I don't think there were yolks in it, were there?
Oh, weird.
I don't remember. It's been a while.
Different recipes, yeah.
Mousse. Have you made mousse before?
I have not made anything with gelatin in it.
Mousse is very good.
I'm scared.
I mean, yeah, but you should try it. It's, like, when you finish it, it's so good.
Because I put that in the same category as, like, custards and, like, stuff like that. But I always use,
custard.
Like... But I always use cornstarch. I don't use, like, gelatin.
Oh, okay.
So it's something foreign to me.
You gotta make it. You gotta try it.
Oh,
it's so good.
Maybe I'll make, like, a bavoire or something. Remember from, like, the Great British Baking Show? And they had, like, the giant...
Oh, like the dome?
Yeah.
Ah, that looks so good.
Right?
I've always wanted to make, like, the little layered... I think...
A Charlotte?
It's
where
just,
they put the lady fingers on the outside?
I don't know if there's a name for it, but just, like, little desserts that are, like, layered with, like, different things, you know?
Yeah. Oh, there was one thing that I wanted to make. It was, like, Earl Grey... I think anything tea flavored is, like, really good. So it was, like, Earl Grey cream puffs. And it was the choux pastry, but it had, like, the layer on top of it. Do you know what that is when they, like, put something on top of it and bake it? And
it's like the little sugar crystals.
Yeah.
It's almost like the thing you put on a concha.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't remember the name of it. I've only heard it once.
But those looked very good. I've added it to my list. So I gotta make it at some point.
I have also a dessert that... I don't know if it'll work, but I wrote it down, and it's, like, my own creation.
Okay.
But probably have to do it next week, because pomegranate season.
Ooh.
But
is it a mousse?
Actually,
I'll let you explain it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a bavoire, kind of. So there's a biscuit on the bottom.
Okay.
And I was thinking chocolate cardamom.
Interesting. Yeah. All right.
This was during my whole Great British Baking Show phase, so, you know, had to draw inspiration from them. And then there's, like, a little layer of vanilla cake.
Okay.
And depending on if there's too much flavor or something, I may add lemon into the cake. Might be lemon cake, might be vanilla. We don't know yet. We'll have to see. But then you put, like, pomegranate mousse on top of that.
Interesting. Yeah. So it's, like, a very layered kind of...
Yeah. Okay. So it's like the little layered dessert that I want to make. So it's biscuit, cake, mousse, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe a glaze, maybe not.
What kind of glaze?
Just like a simple, like, syrup kind of glaze.
I feel like if you made a citrusy kind of one, that'd be good.
So, like, lemon in that instead of in the cake might work. Maybe.
Or if you're doing a chocolate cardamom one, you should do, like, an orange glaze. Because cardamom and orange go really well together.
I get that. But I also don't like making orange desserts because they normally just taste too like perfumey.
Oh, I get
like
what you
it's
mean.
too floral.
I get what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't really like it.
Scratch that.
But I will add it.
I think on its own it'll be good
Yeah.
without the glaze, but the glaze would be enough.
So the glaze was just for appearance sake. So maybe instead of glaze, take pomegranates and make it into like a little jam and put it on top.
I do remember that they would have a jam in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe do that instead. But that's my...
Tell me when you make it. I want to see lots of pictures.
Yes. I will see. It's probably going to be next week. But that is my goal for, like, original dessert.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I've ever made an original dessert. Usually I follow a recipe.
Mm-hmm.
But then if I don't have the ingredients, then I'll just add my own stuff. So that's usually how it goes. I don't know if that really counts because that's like 50% of what I bake.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
So there's never anything that you were just like, you think these flavors are going to go well, so we should make like...
When I made cinnamon rolls, I made like a grapefruit kind of flavored one. Ooh. So I put the zest in the filling, and it was a cinnamon orange one. Oh, it wasn't grapefruit, it was cinnamon orange.
Okay.
So the filling was cinnamon, had orange zest in it, and then the glaze, the frosting glaze thing, had orange juice instead of like milk.
Yeah.
When I was mixing it with confectioner sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So that was about it. That one was also just a mess because I messed up doing the recipe like 8 times. But it's still
That's
gross.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think I had nearly enough yeast, but it worked. It's okay.
When God's on your side and he says, it's just gonna work.
Yeah, I also didn't have buttermilk or butter. So I had to find a recipe that was like vegetable oil based, and I made my own buttermilk out of almond milk by mixing vinegar with it.
That's so interesting.
It was an interesting recipe, yeah. It turned out well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most of your things turn out well regardless.
It's interesting. I don't know. I really
you just
wasn't
have
expecting.
You just have that like cooking baking luck. Like
not with macarons.
Not with macarons.
Anything else but macarons.
Macarons are just too iffy.
They are. Jeez.
Okay, so then if you were making food or dessert, what would be the one ingredient that you'd recommend putting in? Like fruit or like a specific fruit or spice, do you think?
You go first. I have to think about this.
Okay. So for dessert, I personally just like raspberries a lot because they have the tartness but also like a little bit of sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
And the color's just nice.
It is.
So if I have raspberries, then I would do that. I've never made savory food with fruit or anything in it. So
I don't think I have either.
That might be something we should try.
I think so, yeah.
But cooking, I think the usual like spices, salt, pepper, garlic powder, red pepper flakes. Can mostly go in like literally any single recipe you want.
That's true.
But or if you have fresh garlic, mince it yourself and like put it in, that makes it so much better.
It does. Garlic powder, I don't have garlic powder in my pantry. I think I need to buy some, who knows. For desserts, I like anything citrusy.
Okay.
Because I hate artificially orange flavored things. I hate it.
You hate orange candies and stuff.
It's disgusting. I hate it.
See, I like them because they don't have that floral, like, taste to them.
But that's why I like fresh orange stuff. That's the floral stuff. And then cooking, I usually use the trifecta. So, onions, garlic, ginger.
Ginger.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like using ginger in a lot of things. But it's like fresh ginger. I don't like using powdered ginger.
Ginger's in a lot of Asian foods, so it works well with it.
And that's about it. I can't think of anything else that I would, like, recommend. But that's also my flavor profile, so if that's not really what you're into, then that makes sense.
Oh. So, if you make food too salty, what can you do to... what can you do to fix it?
Okay. I think it's the same thing with my acid thing.
Yeah.
So if it's a soup that's too salty, add more starch.
Okay.
Above all else, like add pasta to it, add potatoes to it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll absorb more of that salt content. It'll make it better. Add more water.
But like if it's vegetables that were just like overly salted.
Yeah. I would make the same dish, but not add seasoning to it, and then just add it.
Okay.
And if you're not willing to do that, maybe...
I think you just have to eat it with rice or something.
If it's, like, a vegetable, I think sometimes you can, like, puree it or something and then, like, freeze it and then just use it.
Oh, as, like, a concentrate kind of?
As a concentrate, exactly, yeah. I've never done it before, but maybe I'm just, like, spitballing ideas right now.
You know, maybe it works.
If I ever do it, I'll let you know.
Okay. We'll update. Okay.
If it's not that, then you just gotta throw it out. I don't know.
Yeah. But it feels bad to throw out food.
I know, I hate food waste.
It's like you just kind of... If you can't do that, I'd say just eat it with rice. Like one tiny piece with, like, a lot of rice.
Oh, yeah. So what are your thoughts on, like, preventing food waste and stuff like that? Like cooking sustainably and baking sustainably.
Baking, I don't think there is a lot of waste in general, depending on like if you're using fruits or not. Because fruits, you could just put the actual fruit in the cake and then, or a dessert, and then use the zest of it or like stuff to add a little bit more flavor. But for cooking, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I might be wasteful because I don't want to cut that small.
I get what you mean, yeah.
But I tend to use all of it because I feel bad if I'm just throwing away, like, because I know some people, they only like the broccoli florets. Yeah. So they cut off the stem and they just throw the whole stem away, and I'm like, oh, you can eat it. Like,
it tastes good.
Yeah. So I try to use all of it. But yeah.
Okay, so I've seen how people, like, will keep their vegetable scraps and then make veggie stock out of it later. Have you ever done that?
We don't make stock at home, no.
No? Okay, because I really want to try it. I'll let you know how it goes, because I know my mom does that. You know those Costco rotisserie chickens?
Yeah.
She'll make, like...
Oh, chicken stock?
Chicken stock out of that, and then she'll save our onion scraps, because they also make a really good broth. And they're apparently, like... She makes tea out of it sometimes.
Onion tea?
Tea I'm not a big fan of, but the broth is really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's, like, really rich. I know people do with, like, their carrot tops and stems. Maybe cilantro stalks. I don't know.
Probably.
I'd like to try it. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah. Homemade stock probably is really good, but we're just kind of lazy. So we just use chicken stock.
I get what you mean, yeah. My mom's always just like, there's too much sodium in that. Don't buy it.
There is a lot of sodium in it. But that's okay.
It makes it taste good.
Yeah.
No shame in the game.
If it tastes like MSG, why not?
Seriously.
Have you ever made ramen before, like homemade ramen? I feel like that's something I want to make.
I haven't. Because I feel like packaged Asian ramen is already really good.
Okay, that's fair. But, I want to learn how to make, like, the creamy soup they have.
Oh, the miso broth?
Yeah.
I think making, like, including the noodles or, like... Then, okay, the broth, I think, would just take a long time, but I'd be up for it.
Okay.
And I really like how they make, like, the soft-boiled eggs that they soak in, like, the soy sauce and stuff. That looks really good. I want to do that.
Has there been a dish that, like, your parents have made that they didn't teach you how to make, you know, as a parent does, but you figured it out by yourself and made it? Yes.
This was when I got my first cast iron.
Okay.
And I learned how to make steaks from watching YouTube videos.
Was it in the oven or was it just
on the stove?
On the stove. Okay.
So it was like the butter-basted one with like herbs and garlic. Yeah. And I went through like a pretty big meat phase where I would just like cook a lot of like steak because it was just satisfying to me. But I'm kind of over it now. But it was a good phase. I don't mind it. Okay. I learned how to cook a really good medium rare steak with a good crust, and it was flavorful.
And flavor. Okay.
No regrets. You?
My grandma makes this thing called tomato farci. I think it's a French dish, but you know, French colonized Vietnam and whatnot, so
Influences, yeah.
Yeah, so she makes it for us, and it's essentially like a stuffed tomato, kind of stewed, but kind of not. I don't really know how to explain it.
Sounds good.
But like she only used to make it every once in a while, and I loved it, and I asked her how to make it, and she didn't tell me, so I had to figure it out, and now I make it, and it's pretty good. Yeah, but it also like my grandma makes it, my mom makes it, I make it, they all taste so different.
I think that's a good thing though, so you don't get tired of it, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's nostalgic when you eat your grandma's.
I mean, a little tired because that's like, it's pretty easy to make because you just like make a little meatball, put it in the tomato, fry it and stuff so that it's cooked.
Interesting.
And then add the rest of the inside tomatoes in to make the sauce. So it's kind of easy to make, but my mom makes it all the time now because tomatoes and bell peppers are so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little sick of it.
Bring it to me. I will eat it.
Okay.
I'm curious.
Bam.
What is one kitchen item that you always use? Whether it's baking or cooking.
Only one? I want to say the spatula.
Spatula.
The spatula is a good one.
Did you know every time me and Lucy bake together, we never have a spatula. And it's the worst thing ever because we can never like scrape the bowls down or anything, and we have to like try to do it with a fork or a spoon.
Or a rice paddle, you know.
Rice paddle has worked okay.
Yeah.
It's just not as good.
We need to get one of those.
I still don't have a spatula. I need to buy one.
But yeah. No, a spatula. And I think a knife.
Yeah.
A knife. A good knife. All the knives in my house are so dull.
Get the block thing.
We have it.
You just don't know how to do it?
We know how to do it. It's just still dull for some reason.
Weird.
Yeah.
Alright.
So, even if you don't cook a lot, the one thing you need is a good knife. A good, sharp knife.
Amen. I would either say a cutting board because, like, living in places that didn't have a multitude of cutting boards like my parents' house did is, like, now difficult, and trying to, like, cut stuff on plates is not the same.
Yeah, no.
I've learned how to cut things in my hand pretty well, which is not safe, but, like,
It's not, but it is a skill.
It is a skill in itself.
It's like peeling, fruits, like, without...
Yeah.
You know?
So I've got it down, but, I would like a cutting board.
Anyone who's listening, if you know Miriam personally, cutting board for Christmas.
Or a spatula for me and Lucy.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you have a cutting board, you should have 2 different cutting boards, one for raw meats and raw, like, stuff, and then ones for, like, vegetables and, like, fruits and stuff.
Yeah.
So you don't, like,
avoid contamination.
Yeah.
Yep. Or if you're like me and you don't eat meat, then you don't really have an issue with this. Yeah.
Then one's fine.
Yeah. Well, my grandparents had one for everything. It was kind of weird, but
No. My parents refuse. Like, if they see us using the meat cutting board for anything else, they're like, that's so bad. It's so dirty. Don't do that.
Oh.
You know?
One thing I do have is I would get a different cutting board for garlic, honestly.
Yeah.
That stuff gets everywhere. I can't get rid of it.
It does. But, like, you're gonna season everything with garlic anyway.
I know, but it's like if I'm cutting an apple on a cutting board, I don't want to taste like garlic.
Hey, if you have 2 cutting boards, fruit and veggies, done.
Oh, smart.
So it doesn't have to be just meats and, like, cooked foods. So, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, having a blender would also be nice.
Very true. Okay, so you know how it's like breakfast, lunch, and dinner foods?
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you say is like your favorite meal?
I think lunch and dinner foods can kind of go.
They're in the same category, yeah.
Not breakfast. I don't really like breakfast that much. But probably lunch.
Lunch?
Yeah. Because I feel like there's more variety you can eat during lunch.
True.
And dinner's always really, like, not heavy, but filling kind of.
I get what you mean.
Yeah. So, what about you?
Breakfast foods.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I think it's because I like eggs a lot. Which kind of sucks because I'm, like, dating someone who's allergic to eggs. Anyways.
Call him out right here, right now.
I'm not going to. It's okay.
Yeah.
But, breakfast foods for any country. Personally, I don't like eating first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's just breakfast foods at different times of the day.
That's also fine.
But American breakfast food is good. Korean breakfast food is good.
What is Korean breakfast food?
Usually it's just like... it's because my grandparents make like a steamed egg dish.
Okay.
And I think that is just so good.
Ah.
And also for breakfast, I like eating soup and rice. Because it just kind of like warms me up in the morning. But now I'm like having toast. Because that's what I have at my house.
Just toast.
It has cream cheese on it.
Toast with cream cheese?
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
It's cinnamon pumpkin toast that I bought at Aldi's.
Oh.
And the cream cheese was 75 cents.
That sounds
was the best thing I've ever seen. Ever. Oh my gosh.
Aldi, everyone sleeps on Aldi. Anyone who disagrees, no.
You can leave the podcast. Yeah, you're not welcome here.
Aldi has cheap food and sometimes it's really great.
I agree. They have cheap produce.
Yeah. Which is really nice.
It is. Because it's not like I'm going to go to Whole Foods and, like, drop $70 on groceries in one day. That would make me cry.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, go to Aldi's.
Aldi's. And also there's a new store that's popping up in Atlanta. Or around Atlanta. It's... I don't know how to pronounce this. It's Lidl. Lidl?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I saw it in Marietta.
Yeah. It's kind of like Aldi's, no?
I've never been to it. I'll check it out.
I have never either, but people say it's like Aldi's.
Shopping trip?
Olive oil trip? Okay. So my sister's best friend's parents, they own this, like, olive oil store in Marietta.
Avenue,
yeah, the Avenue. And it's called Olea Oliva.
Don't look at me. I don't know.
I'm trying. It's either that or something close to that, but it's like a little olive oil store. They have flavored olive oils, so you can make dessert with it. You can make like savory.
Dressings.
Yeah, you can make anything with it. They also have good balsamic vinegar.
I love dipping bread with balsamic vinegar and olive oil.
I think we might need to take a trip today to go.
I'm not dressed up.
So
that's okay, yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys are ever interested, go visit, get some nice olive oil. She also does cooking classes, but due to COVID, I don't know if she's still doing them.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She also has a cookbook too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I want so many cookbooks. I have like a list of them.
Barnes & Noble?
But I want to get them used because the cookbook's like
$20
to $30.
Yeah, they are expensive. Thriftbooks.com.
Ah. I'll try it out, yeah.
Okay. But yeah.
Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Me neither.
Yeah. So, I think that's it. It was a lot of just opinions, but...
I had a good time. Yeah.
So, take all of this with a grain of salt. Literally.
Season your food well.
Yes. If it's bland, add more salt.
And if it's too salty, we talked about this.
Also, garlic, never too much garlic in any recipe. So,
very true.
That's our closing advice. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week for another podcast.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I had so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, I swear.
Okay. Are you just lying to me?
No, I like talking about this stuff. You know this.
Okay. But yeah.
All right, goodbye.
Day.